Based on my first impressions, the gap between the PS4 and PS5 version is less pronounced than, say, Horizon Forbidden West. There is no doubt, however, that it feels largely familiar from a technological standpoint, but even still, it's a beautiful game. Now, skipping ahead to Alfheim, you do at one point cross paths with the original game here as well. We can see that it has evolved under the control of the Light Elves, but the comparison is striking all the same. The improvements are certainly evident if you look closely, but I feel the original game holds up surprisingly well in this instance. Now, going back and forth between the two games, I walked away with somewhat mixed feelings. On one hand, it doesn't necessarily feel like a gigantic leap forward from a pure technology standpoint. God of War Ragnarok is unabashedly a PlayStation 4 game that has received an enhanced release on PS5. And overall, it works out pretty well, but my feelings on this are slightly mixed, especially compared to releases such as Horizon the Forbidden West. So obviously, as I've already touched on, the benefit of creating a cross-gen game on PS5 includes the ability to target very high levels of performance and polish. I'm relatively certain that a from-the-ground-up PS5 version of God of War would not deliver a completely locked 60 frames per second, let alone the 80 to 90 you get in the high performance mode. So in that sense, playing this on PS5 kind of feels like playing another multi-platform game on a gaming PC. It is fundamentally the same experience, but it's noticeably improved, which is a good thing. Yet when examining the overall game structure, I can't help but consider other possibilities. I wouldn't want to see God of War become an open world game, mind you, but there's a sense that all those little animations, crawl spaces, and tight squeezes kinda slow the overall pace down. Yes, I know, many of these are placed there just to keep the player in specific spaces during key combat moments, but I have to admit I'm not a huge fan of that specific design choice. Could they push the world design out a little further if it had been an exclusive? Would they even want to? There's really no way to know this, and pretending otherwise is just a fantasy, but still, it's something to think about.